Tonight marks the fourth time in 2025 that the sixth-time and reigning ISC World Champion Hill United Chiefs have faced off against a new kid on the block this season, JDT First Energy. And while Hill United leads the season series 2-1, this one matters by far and away the most. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the winners bracket semifinals of the ISC World Tournament here in Mankato, Minnesota. Peter Lubardius alongside the guy I call Mr. ISC, Blair Setford, to bring you this all-important game that moves the winner a big step closer. Hill United, Blair, will be the visiting team, and one change from their last game on Tuesday, the triumph against the Kegel Black Knights, as Nick White goes back into the lineup in the 8-hole in place of Edgar Pipolo Lopez. Luciano Biondi, who played his first game and made one whale of a catch in left field that really was a turning point in that game, remains in the batting lineup, but as the designated player.
He made a great defensive throw, too. Luciano Biondi looked like he'd been playing left field his whole life.
Was joking with him at the hotel the last couple of days, and he said, on the catch, I was just lucky. I said, I'm not really buying. For JDT around the outfield, Patterson, Pomeroy, Jonathan Lynch, that's a great group, as is the case in the infield. Laskowski, Ducharme, Dallas Kipfer, Colin Walsh, Dallas Cornelius, and Devin McCullough, who has been brilliant here. He's thrown 20 innings, given up 2 runs, 3 hits. He struck out 34, Blair, and walked 4. And if you reflect back, and I heard you talk about it earlier, in the first meeting of these two teams, June the 13th, the 3-2 triumph by JDT, the guy getting ready in the circle right now was a massive reason. Gave up 2 runs that night, struck out 15 batters on the way to the win. And we are set to go on this lovely Thursday evening with so much on the line. And McCullough's first pitch to the captain, Shane Boland, is a drop ball in for a strike. And it doesn't take very long for somebody to be unhappy with a pitch call. You might see a lot of that with so much on the line in this game.
Devin McCullough fired up for this one, too. First pitch, 79 miles an hour.
He has had a really good season from start to finish. The product of Saskatoon, a world champion, and he was a big part of it in the gold medal game, reflecting back to 2015. Shane Boland from St. John's, Newfoundland, batting .329 on the year. And pops this a mile in the air, but it'll make its way back into the seats, and hopefully that did not hit anybody. Shane, so far in Mankato, is 2 for 8 with a couple of doubles. One of those doubles came in the 7-0 triumph 2 nights ago against the Kegel Black Knights. Hill United started the event with a 9-0 victory over the Junkyard Dogs, followed it up with another 9-0 triumph against the Lacey A's, and then beat the Kegel Black Knights 7-0 in a game where, Blair, that did not in any way, shape, or form reflect the type of game that it was.
No, that was a real tight game. Kegel Black Knights had 10 base runners aboard.
Shane Boland hit with that pitch as he makes his way down to first base.
Well, Shane is going to claim that he got hit. I think
we're
going to get the umpires together just to verify. I want to see the replay.
So Boland trying to shake it off. Looked like it hit him in the foot. And there doesn't seem to be a lot of challenging going on as Brad Ezekiel, the 8-time All-World player at this event, steps into the batter's box. He's 4 for 9 so far during this tournament with a home run and 4 runs batted in. And McCullough finds the strike zone as he now is digging back towards his hometown of Saskatoon, and he's not alone.
No, there was a lot of digging in the prior game with Georgian Bay and Midland, and a lot of work went into that landing area in between games by the grounds crew.
So Ezekiel grounds it back foul. Ezekiel, 345 on the year. He's 30 for 87. He's doubled, he's tripled, he's homered 11 times and driven in 29. Needless to say, the home run count and the run batted in count first for the Chiefs. And he had a mighty cut at the McCullough offering that time. And Blair, one pitch in particular, when Devin has it moving and on a string, is that what can be a devastating changeup.
Oh, it's a world-class changeup when he pulls the string. His go-to pitch is going to be the rise ball. That got him the 11 strikeouts the other night against the Bear Creek Express.
And there it was, just on cue, and Ezekiel able to foul it away with 2 strikes. As I mentioned off the top, Devin, the product of Saskatoon, has 34 strikeouts. No one else has touched a ball in the circle this week for JDT. He's thrown every single pitch.
Well, the decision was made early on that they were going to ride Devin as long and as hard as they could, as long as they stayed in the winner's bracket. And that's where they continue to be.
And that schedule allows you to do it, right?
That's, if you plan it out right and you stay on the top side, you can do that.
So Bolin, the base runner at first after being hit on the foot, and Ezekiel tries to check his swing and is able to do it, much to the groan towards the dugout of JDT First Energy.
Here's the replay here. You be the judge.
That's close. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Ezekiel. With that waggle of the bat that in so many ways distinguishes him at home plate. You wouldn't need to see anything else, Blair, except how the bat begins.
Oh, we had a ball come in from the other field, and that got our home plate umpire.
Oh, my goodness. Yikes.
That has... He got that... I think it was a one hop that came in.
Hit him right in the back of the head.
Yeah, it was on the hop. Fortunately, it wasn't a direct blow. But when you're in no way, shape, or form expecting that, that is very painful.
Oof. Hill United physical therapist, Craig Lyons, and what a great job he does. And his brother, Jeff Lyons, plays for the opposition, JDT. Craig, a former player himself. And Craig's going to bring out some water. Well, we've seen some interesting delays in this event. And there's one in a very important game going on right in behind us, too. And it is not good.
No, it is not good at all. All of the Knights and some of the Bear Creek Express are down. Not sure who was playing left field for Bear Creek. Maybe Yusuke Morita going through the fence. Don't want to speculate.
No. But can tell you, that didn't just happen 2 minutes ago.
No, that's been 10 minutes. Yusuf Davis was in left field previously. The umpires tonight, it's Glenn Brown behind the plate, Scott McLaren out at first, and Robbie Duran is over at third.
And Devin McCullough, after the delay and the umpire being hit with a foul ball, records a big out. Anytime you get Brad Ezekiel, it can be determined as a pretty significant out. Lenny Villavazzo is the batter, the Chiefs' second baseman. The 26-year-old from Mexico, hitting .333 on the season. 4 doubles, a home run, and 10 runs batted in. 3 for 5. with a double and 2 runs batted in at the 2025 ISC. He's also been hit with a pitch 4 times, 3 in one game against the Lacey A's, and I shouldn't chuckle. It wasn't fun to watch. Hit in 3 different places and took a significant bite out of him every time. As McCullough delivers a first or second pitch, drop ball for a strike. And so often against elite level pitching, Blair, you'd like to get to them early.
As is always the case. If you can get 1 or 2 early, it forces everybody to change the game plan.
Marco Diaz, of course, will get the ball when the Hill United Chiefs take to the field in the bottom of the inning. 1 out for Villavazzo, and he lays off the Rise on that occasion.
And Peter, there's 2 reasons why you want for both teams to get to the other starter early. Right now, you're in daylight. The lights have just come on here at Caswell Sports Park. Both of these guys are much tougher under the lights.
There's the changeup. And the count runs full to Villavazzo, who missed 6 weeks of action. He jammed a hand and a wrist in an early tournament in Mitchell, Ontario, but he's come back the last couple of weekends with a vengeance.
He's looked really good at both the USA Nationals and here early at the ISC World Tournament. Hardly has missed a beat.
He was 6 for 17 at those USA Major Men's National Championships with 3 doubles, 2 runs batted in. And has carried that right into this ISC World Tournament. Already surpassed his hit total of 2024, and McCullough again reaches back, and as Blair had mentioned, the Rise ball is the out pitch one more time. As this really climbs the ladder to get Lenny Villavazzo for out number 2. And stepping in is the 39-year-old catcher, Bruno Matroni, hitting .304 on the year with 4 home runs and 16 runs batted in. One of those home runs coming here, a 3-run shot against the Lacey A's on Monday morning.
That was the drop ball from McCullough in for a strike. And that he'll use that, Peter, to set up the Rise ball with the 2 strikes looking for the punch out.
The last time these 2 teams met, not very long ago, July 19th in Oklahoma City. Marco Diaz went the distance. Devin McCullough went 4 innings, and Hill United won that ball game 2-1. That was a winner's bracket game in about the same spot as we're in right now. And there is a fabulous changeup. Can't throw it much better. And Devin McCullough off to a very good start outside of hitting the leadoff man, Shane Bolin, pardon me. And McCullough always jumps to one side, but body language thought he had strike 3 on the outside corner. So Matroni digs in. And it gets away from McCullough and Cornelius, and now a runner in scoring position is Shane Bolin with a little extra step just to see if he could draw something.
I don't like going down on one knee. We've been talking about this here all week. It really inhibits your lateral movement. I know this is all the rage, started in the major leagues, and it's been adopted by a lot of the catchers here in the game. to me at least anyway, it really looks to me like it inhibits your ability to go side to side.
Matroni drills it down the right field line. A double. And the Hill United Chiefs strike first, courtesy of that blow by Bruno Matroni. As he goes the other way, an inside-out swing. And really nice work by Jonathan Lynch to slide and prevent another base. But Bruno Matroni has his 4th double of the year and his 17th run batted in. And Hill United strikes first. And Tony Gonzalez, the batter, the Chiefs' first baseman.
And Peter, let me be clear. I'm not criticizing Dallas Cornelius there on that play. There's a whole bunch of guys here that are doing it. Joe and I talked about it in the last game as well. It's just an observation that, to me, it looks like it would make it very difficult to go get a wild pitch like that. And Devin McCullough short-hopped him too. That doesn't help.
Well, it certainly doesn't lend itself very well, Blair, for a ball that might skip in the opposite direction, because now you're stuck.
Yeah.
As opposed to the old way, when you shuffle, keep your glove down and your body down, then it would allow you to go side to side, which obviously is what you and I, being of our age, would have been taught. Although I must tell you, I never caught a game in my life. I never liked anybody swinging a bat in front of my face.
I did a few here and there, and yeah, it's certainly glad it wasn't my natural position. Let's put it that way.
I was happy to be in the infield. And it's one of the reasons I did some umpiring as a young person too. And I loved working the bases. I never wanted to work behind home plate for the same reason. Tony Gonzalez trying to deliver another run here in the first. And the changeup from Devin McCullough, nicknamed Devo. Missed out of the zone. Bruno Matroni, an RBI double to cash in the game's first run in this winner's bracket semifinal. The Bear Creek Gremlins and the Northeast Drillers will meet in the next one following this game, and Gonzalez fights off the inside rise ball to stay alive in the at-bat. Tony's hitting .308 on the year. He's 24 for 78. He's homered 6 times, including 2 in the Chiefs' first game here in Mankato, when he went 3 for 3, homered twice, and drove in 5 against the Junkyard Dogs in their opening game on Sunday evening. And McCullough throws an excellent pitch underneath the hands. But Hill United, the reigning champs, on the board first, courtesy of the veteran catcher Bruno Matroni, will set the Chiefs defensively and will bring you the batting order of JDT on this Thursday at the ISC World Tournament.
Called strike 3, the outside corner. They weren't out of that. Yeah. High in the air, Viavazo comes to get it, and the Chiefs are back to the top of the mountain. The gloves fly. The celebration is underway.
Bruno Matroni's RBI double is given Hill United a 1-0 lead as they take to the field. And here is the batting order that Marco Diaz will face. And Blair, it's been pretty consistent for the most part in their first 3 victories so far here in Mankato.
Yeah, really no changes for the JDT First Energy squad from the other night when they rang up the victory against Bear Creek Express.
3-2 triumph. Marco Diaz gets the ball, not a surprise. Coming off a 12 strikeout performance against the Kegel Black Knights 2 evenings ago, and he was tested, but was able to work his way out of every single jam and had some great defense played in behind him as well. He's thrown 14 innings, as you see right there, yet to give up a run. And facing Canadian national team member Jordan Pomeroy, and delivers a first pitch strike. We saw Diaz, at least on our radar, as high as 88 in the game here on Tuesday.
Peter, the big pitch for Marco Diaz Tuesday night was the rise ball. He got the majority, by far the majority, of his strike 3 swing and misses on that rise ball. Not normally associated as his best pitch.
Have never seen him in the last 2 years be as effective with it as he was against Kegel. He's ahead of Pomeroy, no balls and 2 strikes, and the drop ball catches Pomeroy looking. And Diaz has his first strikeout of the game. And Blair, that was a pitch that was hard for him to get against a left-handed batter, that drop in the outside part of the plate 2 evenings ago.
Well, if he's going to get that pitch a couple of inches off the plate, and Glenn Brown normally has a wider than normal strike zone on both corners, it's got to be said, Marco Diaz he'll benefit from that.
Braden Ducharme, member of the United States national team, 3 for 9 so far at this ISC World Tournament, and all the damage came in their opening game against Bar Blues. As he attempts to lay down a bunt, tried to hold his swing, but unable to. In that opening game, he was 3 for 3 with a double, a triple, a home run, and 3 runs batted in.
Well, I've seen Bar Blue play a couple of games here this week, and they've got some good pitching. So either he know the guy right off the hop, or just could have just been a great game. But I'm a little surprised that he had that much success against the Bar Blues.
Well, he's looking for his first hit since that game. He's 0 for his last 6. Hit 182 at last year's ISC World Tournament in Surrey, British Columbia. And the rise ball, and he had a good twist on that delivery from Diaz. The 23-year-old, born in Mexico, calls California home. As we are early in this winner's bracket semifinal. And Diaz misses down and away with that pitch. In the last meeting of these two teams, July 19th, Marco went 7 innings, gave up 1 run, 5 hits, struck out 11, and walked 1 in a 2-1 Chiefs triumph. And with these two pitchers, don't be surprised if it's not in that same type of neighborhood here this evening. And Diaz wanted the changeup. We've already seen it a couple of times. Did not see that pitch a lot against Kegel.
No, they did not pull it out very often against the Black Knights a couple of nights ago.
And of course, all of it is discussed between the coaching staff, pitchers and catchers, in terms of meetings on how you want to attack certain teams and certain hitters.
Well, there was the rise ball again for the strikeout pitch. So going right back to what worked on Tuesday night.
And that in the past has been the number 3 pitch for him. But he seems to have found it here at the World Tournament. That's one of the big bread and butters for him, especially when you throw as hard as he does.
87 on that pitch.
Scott Patterson delivered the only run when these two teams met on July the 19th. Blair had a first inning solo home run. A member of Australia's national men's team. And Diaz again gets ahead with another terrific drop. That one more towards the outside of the plate. Patterson's off to a terrific start here at the ISC. He's 5 for 11 with a double. Was a circle tap Duke 1 year ago at this event. And Diaz, dynamite to begin inning number 1 with 3 quick strikeouts. Hill United in front 1-0 after 1 on this Thursday night, a big night at the 2025 ISC World Tournament.
Dreamcatcher, inch by inch, we'll fight to make the lives of First Nations people in this community, this province, and on this continent better. I know we have a long way to go, but I'm proud to say as long as our people have a need, Dreamcatcher will be there for them.
Caswell Park, a great host here in North Mankato. You get a look at some terrific souvenirs. I promise I've got to get over there outside of a couple of quick glances.
Oh, they've got some great stuff over there.
Blake Hunter looks at a change-up from his national team teammate, Devin McCullough. And it's not hard to tell what he was looking for when the ball hit the glove, and it was not the result he was hoping for. Blake Hunter's batting .317 on the year for the Chiefs with 4 home runs, 4 doubles, and 17 runs batted in. He's both doubled and homered here in Mankato. He hit a home run against the Lacey A's and then doubled on Tuesday evening in the 7-0 triumph over the Kegel Black Knights. 2 3-0 teams in this winner's bracket semifinal. And excellent movement on the rise. Not only up, but moving away from the right-handed batting Hunter.
Blake did the balance of the catching for Team Canada, including for Devin McCullough in Saskatoon, or Prince Albert and Saskatoon a couple of weeks ago.
Now, Blake is such a versatile guy. No Nick Shales. He has not been available. Quentin Bruce, an outstanding outfielder, out for the year with an injury. So Blake Hunter, the starting third baseman, and he has more than acquitted himself well at both the USA Nationals and here in Mankato in that role.
Yeah, barely missed a beat bringing in Blake Hunter. And what a great off-season addition. Not that Josh McGovern is in any way a slouch, and he's done exceptional well with the Bear Creek Gremlins this year, but Blake Hunter is a prime player.
Hunter drives that base hit into left field. That's his third hit here at the ISC World Tournament. And for a second consecutive inning, Hill United has the leadoff batter aboard. And that to left field with authority. And here's right fielder Alan Pecker. Blair, I have seen few throws in the game in recent years like the one he delivered to home plate here on Tuesday.
People are still talking about that throw to the plate by Alan Pecker.
This guy can do it all. and certainly had a championship Saturday in Surrey of a lifetime when he homered 4 times in 3 games, 2 in the championship final, went 6 for 9 with 9 runs batted in. He's 2 for 8 here. A double, a triple, and has driven in 3. Both his hits, Blair, came in the 7-0 victory over the Keegle Black Knights on Tuesday. He had 4 home runs on Championship Sunday at the USA National Championships as well.
It was like it was Groundhog Day with Alan Pecker.
He didn't quite finish it off, but not for lack of his great effort. As McCullough climbs the ladder, and Cornelius was forced to too. And Allen, a 5-tool player. He can do it all. And he has hit a couple of balls this year to the moon. And this one is called foul. Not easy to see from our broadcast location, that part of the field, but just foul.
Yeah, we are blocked out a little bit there.
As Devin McCullough ties up the spikes. Blake Hunter with a sharp single to left at first. Bruno Matroni cashed in the game's first run with an RBI double down the right field line in the first. And that one had some juice and jump.
Feels like he's overthrowing that pitch a little bit, though, Peter, because it's nowhere near the strike zone. That's an easy leave for every batter.
The adrenaline is flowing in this big game. You know that. 2-2 to Alan Pecker. And Devin McCullough gets him with a chest-high rise. His 4th strikeout of the game. Every batter that he's retired has been by way of a strikeout. Returning to the lineup is Nick White. He was a pinch runner in the game against Keegle Tuesday, and the bat at a tough angle to put a ball down on the ground.
Yeah, Joe Todd always talks about starting with the bat high and coming down to the ball. Keep the bat level.
Hard to do on what used to be called a surprise bunt, because you're trying to lay it and get out of there. And Nick White, the 21-year-old from Truro, Nova Scotia, batting .404 on the year. He's played a lot more in year number 3 than in his first 2 years with the Chiefs, and he's taken full advantage of the extra playing time. And has a base hit. He golfed that one. Or not really golfed it, he tomahawked it, if you will. A base hit. That was eye high, Blair.
Yeah, he went up and got it and drove it.
That's a tough piece of hitting on a ball in that area.
That's about the only thing you're going to be able to do with it, though, Peter, is to pull it through the hole like that. It's impossible to take that pitch the opposite way. So if you're going to try to hit it, you might as well pull it.
Nick White's 22nd hit of the year, and now there's runners at the corners, and see if he's on the move. Well, that didn't take long.
Well, and that was the smart play to not throw it away. You weren't going to get Nick White on that anyway with that pitch, so...
So 1 out for red-hot Luciano Biondi, who did it both with the glove and the bat on Tuesday. He's 4 for 9 at the ISC World Tournament. He's homered and driven in 3. 2 for 4 with a run batted in the most recent game against Keegle here a couple of days ago. And this guy is just scratching the surface.
He's going to force this team to make some hard decisions about who comes, who goes when they start to think about the roster next year. He's going to demand from his play a spot in that starting lineup every day.
Well, the good news is we found out the other night it doesn't just have to be behind the plate. What a catch he made in that game at 3-0. Could have been a game changer. In fact, it would have been. It would have scored a couple of runs if that Michael Lewis drive to left field gets over his head.
Oh, easily it scores 2, and it completely changes the complexion of the game for the Black Knights, who just never were able to get that key hit at any point during the evening against Marco Diaz.
The ball and 2 strikes, and change up extraordinaire that time. What a dandy from Devin McCullough.
Well, it's a big strikeout because you don't risk the ball in play. Most guys have 1 strikeout pitch, Peter. Devin absolutely has 2.
Shane Boland was hit on the foot his first go-round. And he was able to score the game's first run on the double down the line by Bruno Matroni. It's why it is 1-0 Hill United.
And Peter, JDT using that one-way pitch comm device. Gremlins employed it last weekend. JDT has jumped on the bandwagon to use the electronic signaling.
That's interesting because I didn't know if it was going to be legal here or not.
Well, it is because we play under USA softball rules with certain exceptions, of course, but broadly under USA softball rules, a one-way electronic device is permitted this year. That's brand new this year under USA softball because last year, and we investigated this at the request of one of the teams, it would not have been.
Shane Boland with 2 runners in scoring position and was able to check his swing. The Chiefs would love to cash in here. And against great pitching, you're only likely to get so many good opportunities, even when you hit the way Hill United does. Shane's batting .238 on the year with runners in scoring position. Hit it high and deep, but foul.
Yeah, hooked it. He was way out in front of that pitch.
That looked like me on about 90 straight balls at the Woodlawn Golf Club in Estevan, Saskatchewan at a reunion earlier this year. I may never pick up a golf club ever again. It was so embarrassing. It physically made me ill. I was better at the sport when I was 8, and I'm not kidding.
That's why they call it golf, Peter. All the other 4-letter words are taken.
Good point by you. I really like that. Shane Boland having himself a good at-bat against someone that I can only imagine how many times they've faced off against one another over the years. They've also been teammates nationally with Canada so many different times as well.
Well, 2021 with the Hill United Chiefs, of course, in that championship year.
And Shane Boland shows off a good eye to stay away from that inside pitch. And the bases are loaded for Bradley Ezekiel.
Huge opportunity here for the Chiefs to break this one open. You could probably say, Peter, that this early, this is a turning point in this game, this at bat.
Ezekiel struck out his first time up tonight. He leads the Chiefs with 29 runs batted in, and he's hitting .423 with runners in scoring position this season. Can he deliver one more time in a key spot? Something he's done his entire career, both at the club level and at the national team level.
Devin McCullough looked 3 times down at the pitch comm just to make sure he had the right call.
Popped it a mile in the air. Plunk, it goes to our left. Right past a few of the players from STK, who had an impressive win earlier today.
Yeah, 8-1 over the Toronto Batmen. And they are waiting on that diamond to our left, which had about a 45-minute delay due to a player injury.
Yeah, and we're hoping for the best. The 1-1 Dazico with a bases loaded, and the changeup missed. Hard to imagine a spot could feel this important this early, but it sure does, doesn't it?
Oh, like I said, I think this is the game potentially right here.
Three balls and a strike to Ezekiel. 4 for 10 now at this ISC World Tournament. Hit .360 at this event. In a championship winning effort for Hill United a year ago. And looks at ball 4, which will bring home a run and will allow Ezekiel to cash in his 30th run of the season. It's 2-0 Hill United.
That'll be the easiest RBI for Bradley Ezekiel this week.
But Blair, in its own right, doesn't that say everything about how dangerous a hitter he is? As a pitcher in that spot, you have to be probably a little bit more precise. And when you're more precise,
you've got to be careful, but I just don't think that Devin McCullough right now has got his best stuff. And he's not pitching around Brad Ezekiel trying to nibble. He's not got his best stuff right there, and he didn't really get anything for Bradley even to go after.
No, he needed a better at-bat, to be sure.
Yeah.
I just feel my point is I don't think it's unfair to suggest certain pitchers feel more pressure when they face certain batters. That's just a reality.
Oh, you're absolutely aware of who's in the box, without a doubt.
So bases remain loaded for Lenny Villavazo as Hill United trying to bust this open early. And Villavazo chased a rise ball. Devin McCullough has recorded 5 outs in the game, all by way of strikeout. Boy, could he use another one right here. He'd take an out of any kind. And Villavazo, who's been hit 4 times.
Well, the only thing I'll say about Lenny, and I love Lenny, he's a great guy, he hangs right out over the plate. And that pitch was in, but when you're out over the plate, that's going to happen.
It is going to happen, and there's a lot of guys that do it. Some of the best hitters in the sport are notorious for it.
Absolutely.
And if you're a pitcher, you've got to take that part of the plate back.
There's a guy playing in Legends who made a career out of getting hit. Patty Shannon, one of the best hitters of the last 30 years. And despite his open stance, which even more exaggerated than Lenny's here, he would come in right over the plate. And that's what Lenny does. When you watch Lenny step forward, his whole upper body goes over the inside white line of the batter's box and out over the plate.
2-2 to Lenny Villavazo. And Cornelius does well to make sure that ball doesn't make its way to the backstop.
Yeah, just not as crisp tonight from Devin McCullough.
Remember, he'd thrown 20 innings. Every pitch coming in to the game. To left, playable for the out. Is Jordan Pomeroy able to track it in foul territory? The Chiefs add one more, but it could have been even more of an advantage heading to the bottom of the second. 2-0, Chiefs leading JDT First Energy.
Welcome to Mont Hill Golf and Country Club. With our beautiful 27-hole golf course open to the public, we work tirelessly to ensure your time with us is second to none. Well, here you'll be able to enjoy an incredible dining experience at our very own Big Pete's Steakhouse. Play some of the best courses in the world with our state-of-the-art golf simulators. Upgrade your gear with the top brands at our pro shop, or host a stunning wedding, event, or conference inside one of our beautiful ballrooms. Learn all this and more at monthill.ca. We can't wait to see you soon.
The Hill United Chiefs, the defending ISC World Champions. They've captured the crown 6 times since 2012. A 2-0 advantage. It's Colin Walsh, another longtime member of the Canadian national men's team, to start the second for JDT First Energy. Blair, in their first year of existence.
It was a long half inning for Marco Diaz. Certainly doesn't seem to affect him here on the first pitch, but he's sitting on the bench for a long time while his team's at the plate.
So Hill United did score, but they left the bases loaded. Ball and a strike to Colin Walsh. The 31-year-old from Petty Harbor, Newfoundland. 2 for 5 here in Mankato. And the drop underneath the hands.
88, 89. In that neighborhood from Marco Diaz. That's getting up there.
They don't get there much faster. Came back in the same neighborhood, but certainly out of the strike zone as he tenders to the growing hole, otherwise known as the landing spot. 2-2 to Colin Walsh. Another devastating drop from Marco Diaz, who has 4 strikeouts.
Peter, this is how things started for the Toronto Batmen last night,
when Jack Besgrove set an all-time 7-inning record at the ISC World Tournament for strikeouts, with as many as you can register. 21, as we joked about last night. Blair, it's a record that can never be broken.
It can be tied, but yep, never to be broken.
I guess the only way it could have been better is if it was 21 batters and 21 strikeouts.
Well, he got the no-hitter, but he walked Corey Way twice. So 2 walks in that game, but that's it.
Jonathan Lynch is the batter, U.S. national teamer from Cape Girardeau, Missouri, as they would say in that state, Missouri. 3 for 11 here with 3 runs batted in.
Bruno Matroni and Jonathan Lynch, both of them in the ear of home plate umpire Glenn Brown. One's wanting to know, how far out can I go? The other one is saying, that's far enough.
Lynch is driven in a run in all three JDT First Energy wins. And he's well in front in this count. Two-time All-World player at the ISC World Tournament is Jonathan Lynch.
He continues to get better with age, too, like a fine wine, Peter. He's added power to his game. He's always had speed. He's always hit gap to gap, but he's hit more home runs, I think, post-pandemic than he did prior.
So a 4-pitch walk. And Jonathan Lynch, who has good speed, becomes the first JDT base runner of the game. And third baseman, good Saskatchewan guy, Justin Laskowski, the batter, who looks at a changeup for a strike.
And Peter, similar to last night, the bleachers in and around home plate, in the infield area in between the benches, are filling up. We've got many more lawn chairs again down the sidelines and into, just creeping into the outfield area on both foul lines. Great to see. Not quite as full as last night,
no,
but close.
Very close. Getting closer all the time. For this winner's bracket semifinal, our first of two tonight. Change up on one hop, could be two, and is. That is a smart play by Villavazzo to allow this ball to take one short hop before it gets to him. 4-6-3 to end the second. It remains 2-0 Hill United Chiefs in Mankato at the ISC World Tournament on the best place to watch softball, Softball Premier TV.
Let's talk about a local one-stop shop. Live Well for Life is just that. A fitness, nutrition, and therapy facility all under one roof. Located at 3878 Wellington Street in Mitchell, Ontario, you can get so much done in just one visit. A full complement of staff on hand include chiropractic, massage, and personal training to get you back to your healthy self. Find them on the web at livewellforlifeinc.com or give
Live Well for Life, a proud sponsor of the broadcast program.
Inning-ending double play for Hill United defensively is Bruno Matroni, who's already played a key part of the advantage. He doubled down the right field line to score the Chiefs' first run in inning number one.
And Peter, you talked about it being a smart play by Lenny Villavazzo to let that skip in front of him. We had a play the other night where the shortstop caught it and then intentionally dropped it. And the umpires let the play out, but then ruled that that was an intentional drop. You can't do that. You can't guide the ball to the ground, apparently is the wording, and that became a dead ball. The batter was ruled out. The base runner was permitted to stay at the base.
Ball and a strike to Matroni. And McCullough just missed outside. And maybe a tad up. Hill United will make you work. And they've made Devin work early in the game. And Matroni had a mighty cut, but a miss.
When this team's been at their best over the years, Peter, they've done exactly that. They take advantage of the opportunities. When other teams make mistakes, the Chiefs have scored historically.
another exquisite changeup.
That was filthy, was what that pitch was.
Yeah. Changeups.com. If you're the batter, I don't need it right now.
No.
If you're the pitcher, I can't get enough of those. Now Devin's up to 6 strikeouts in the game as he deals with Tony Gonzalez, who struck out his first official at-bat in a 2-0 Hill United lead in the top of the third. A winner's bracket final on the line tomorrow evening for the winner. Gonzalez stayed back on the changeup and drilled it into right center.
I know Bradley Ezekiel is the statistical leader of this team, but I mentioned this the other night. You can make an argument for Tony Gonzalez having an MVP year this year.
He has certainly had some MVP-like stretches, Blair. There's no doubt about that. You saw one of those stretches front and center when Hill United won the tournament in Kitchener in late June. That was probably his best stretch, period, of the season. But
and I'm not taking it away from Brad Ezekiel. I mean, he's having an otherworldly year. But Tony Gonzalez, Mr. Consistency for me.
He's an excellent hitter. Blake Hunter ripped a ball into left for a base hit, his first time tonight. And the Chiefs looking to add to this 2-0 advantage. How good was Blake at the World Cup for Canada? 8 for 14 and a tournament leading 11 runs batted in.
Yeah, he had a great event individually for Canada. Disappointment.
Canada not the only country leaving Prince Albert disappointed.
No, definitely not.
In fact, that tournament was almost flipped upside down when you think about where a lot of the pundits and predictors went with their thoughts. And listen, I would have been one of them.
I was, and fully admit, got 3 of the 4 countries wrong.
Well, the format, by the way, Blair, doesn't make it all that easy to predict either, as Blake Hunter chases a high rise for out number 2.
No, and I think there's lots to be desired about the format. We're not going to resolve that here tonight, but suffice to say, there is a lot of work to be done to improve that.
Another quality rise ball from Devin McCullough.
Boy, it would be great to have some of the statistical tools to measure things like bat speed. Alan Pecker gets the bat through the zone so quickly. He generates so much power from that bat speed.
Tony Gonzalez will trot down as the changeup gets away from Dallas Cornelius. One of the more impressive stats for the Hill United Chiefs, who came into the game overall in 2025 at 23-7, is they've batted .346, Blair, with runners in scoring position as a team.
Yeah, they take advantage of the opportunities that are presented to them. That's always what has set the Chiefs apart from most of the other top teams over the years, and why they've got probably a plus 800 winning percentage as a team over the last decade. It's because when they get you when you're down. You make a mistake, they've made you pay. That's always been the way with this team.
Alan Pecker has 3 runs batted in so far at this ISC World Tournament, as Tony Gonzalez looks in. And this is where the mechanical device pays some real dividends.
Well, and as the cost of these devices come down, you're going to see more and more teams go to them. I'm under the understanding that they're almost into that affordable couple of $100 range now.
I'm not sure every team in this tournament was aware that they could be used.
Well, that was quietly, like I said, changed by USA Softball, and we can pick that story up over the next inning.
Devin McCullough. Back-to-back strikeouts to hold the Chiefs at bay one more time, but they lead it 2-0 as we make our way to the bottom of the third in this winner's bracket semifinal from Mankato, Minnesota.
A metal roof lasts a lifetime. Thousands trust Metal Roof Outlet to install stylish, stone-coated metal roofing that looks just like traditional shingles. Make a smart and worthwhile investment for your home with Metal Roof Outlet. Contact us through metalroofoutlet.com to get a quote for a roof replacement anywhere in Southern Ontario. Because when you trust Metal Roof Outlet with your roof replacement, it may be the last time you ever replace your roof.
Hill United in front of JDT First Energy in this first of two winners bracket semifinals. The Bear Creek, formerly New York Gremlins, will take on the Northeast Drillers in our second game tonight. As Travis Jones, the 32-year-old designated player, fouls the inside rise back to the screen. Blair, that's an interesting matchup when you think about Besgrove, who couldn't have been better than he was last night, and a Drillers team that, when they're right, can flat out hit with anybody.
Well, they took on Ramon Godoy last night, who was able to, at times, keep them at bay. But ultimately, they still got 7 runs. Now, that's half of what they had been scoring on average. But you're talking one of the top 5 pitchers in the world, and they still knocked him around pretty hard. Zach Shaw, the 9 batter for the Drillers, is on fire. 2 home runs last night, and he was a threat every time up at the plate. Juan Zera ultimately came up with the game-winning home run in the bottom of the 8th, and I recognize that most people in the Eastern and Central time zones, in fact even some in the West, were asleep by the time that game came to an end. But it was a thriller, I'll tell you that. One of the best games I've seen here this week.
I could not keep my eyes open back at the hotel last night. I will tell you this. When I woke up in the middle of the night, I'll tell you what the first thing I did was at about 3:30 a.m. to check and see who was victorious. The walk-off solo shot, as Blair talked about, ended that game. As Dallas Kipfer swings and misses at the Marco Diaz drop ball. He has 5 strikeouts after Kang, Travis Jones, and it was another rise ball strikeout pitch for number 7. And he's just 23.
Big future ahead for Marco Diaz. Team USA looks set in the circle for the next decade or more between Marco Diaz, Brad Kilpatrick, Cody Gibbons.
Well, Marco helping the U.S. to a bronze medal in Prince Albert. Bruno popped up like it was strike 3. And umpire Brown not buying.
Well, he's gone from the soft sell to a little bit more of a hard sell. That's outside. You saw where Bruno was set up, and he caught it on his outside leg.
Kipfer just got a piece of that. Dallas, 25 years of age. He's from Kitchener, Ontario, in search of his first hit here in Mankato. Played last year with the Bear Creek Express. Scott Cornelius owns 3 teams now. And it's been quite entertaining to watch JDT and Bear Creek Express play one another.
They have gone hammer and tong.
I think if you're a member of JDT, for certain guys who used to play for the Express, a little chip on the shoulder, Blair, I'm going to guess.
I think so. I think they feel like maybe the little brother in that relationship.
Well, Dallas Kipfer works his way on. A second walk for Marco Diaz. And 1 out and 1 on for catcher Dallas Cornelius, the son of the owner. Bear Creek Sports and Entertainment. Ooh, Kipfer, gigantic lead.
That was pushing the envelope a little bit.
Lenny Villavazzo wasn't quite able to squeeze himself into a spot to give Bruno Matroni, the catcher, a target, is what it looked like from our vantage point. Dallas Cornelius fouls that off.
That's the old daylight play. If there's daylight between your defender and the runner, you're going to make the throw.
Diaz grabs the rag, the Gorilla Gold, and the rise ball swung out and missed. Dallas is 0 for 5 so far at the ISC World Tournament. Only had 3 official at-bats as a Bear Creek Express member 1 year ago. And goes down swinging for the second out. Top of the order, or as you like to say, Blair, I don't know who started that line, top of the shop. I never use it because I didn't start it, so I do not like to borrow. I really don't. That's a bit of a pet peeve for me. I'll always credit, though, when I do. I've heard a lot of people use it. I'm not sure who started it.
Couldn't tell you. I know I've been using it for just about as long as I've been doing this.
Jordan Pomeroy, Canadian national team outfielder. And Marco Diaz and Bruno Matroni thought that maybe he'd found an inside corner. Jordan with one of the all-time greatest catches, you might say, in this sport's history a couple of years ago in Mitchell, Ontario.
Certainly the most viral.
Well said. Matroni in fair territory to end the inning. He might be 39, but he can still jump out of the catcher's box and make a play. 2-0 after 3 for Hill United on Softball Premier TV.
Peligro Sports provides the essentials needed to give your team an edge on the field. Our brand is rooted in creating a unique experience tailored to the specific needs of your team to ensure your performance is at the best level to execute plays. At Peligro Sports, we rally behind our athletes and understand their fight to take their game to a dangerous level. Visit our store at 2200 Amsterdam Avenue in New York City or see us online at peligrosportsnyc.com. Thanks to Jose and Peligro Sports for their support of the broadcast.
The Hill United Chiefs with a 2-0 advantage. They scored a run in each of their first 2 at-bats. They left the bases loaded after scoring in the second. Devin McCullough has worked well. He has 8 strikeouts already. Nick White threatened to bunt. He chopped a ball for a base hit into right field, his first time at home plate.
Yeah, they just brushed Nick back off the plate.
Nick, one of the fastest players in the sport. And a threat every time he puts a ball in play. Especially if he can put a ball in that area between pitcher and third base. The greatest player in this sport I ever watched with an ability to do it was a guy by the name of Bill Boyer.
Yeah, Bill Boyer. There was another guy who was at the Hall of Fame breakfast on Sunday, Chad Corcoran.
Yes.
2 of the best ever.
Could not agree more. I'm not sure if anybody got a better jump stealing bases than Bill Boyer. You thought he could have been called out, Blair, almost every single time for leadoff. Man, he was a great player. Change up away from Cornelius, head to hurry. Not even Nick White can win that race.
It's good recovery by Dallas to go get that ball and make a strong throw to first. No panic. He knew what he had to do. Some guys will scramble and rush the throw.
As Devin McCullough looks like he's starting to settle in. I mean, it's hard to imagine you'd say somebody is settling in when they have 9 strikeouts.
No, but he was, especially in the second, Peter, not really finding the range. He was getting guys to chase, but he was struggling.
Luciano Biondi struck out, and McCullough, have not seen, that's 75? Oof. Got a lot on it for 75. I know the Rise never records the same kind of speed on the gun as something down in the zone, but he's had a lot of juice. Did that hit Biondi out of the box or in it?
Well, everybody is
asking,
and everybody's pointing. Laskowski, I don't think he's taking that one. Can we? We'll see that again here. No, the foot.
He's still in.
Just in the box.
Yep.
It's the only part of him in the box.
It hit the right foot if you're Biondi and the Hill United Chiefs.
Great replay.
Was it ever? 4 for 10 in the tournament is the 22-year-old from Argentina. And the McCullough drop this time, as he is up to 10 strikeouts in the game and 44, Blair, now in the tournament. That's a lot of strikeouts.
Yeah.
Shane Boland. Shane has been hit by a pitch and then walked. So been on base twice, scored a run on the Matroni double down the right field line to open the scoring in the first. Shane, the captain of the Hill United Chiefs. A 34-year-old from St. John's, Newfoundland. Chases another rise ball.
There's going to be a lot of guys with some elevated strikeout counts, Peter, as we get into the sharp end of the tournament. The interesting thing about yesterday with Jack Besgrove, 21 in the game, wasn't the highest on the day. Eric Chaparro had 22 in 11 innings.
Ball and 2 strikes to Boland, who's 2 for 8, was 8 for 24 in a winning effort last year in Surrey, British Columbia. Change up, fouled it down the third base side.
Yeah, going to the change up a little bit more often here this inning, trying to work that in.
And Shane was an all-world player in 2024, third time for him. And that rise has been terrific. Strikes out the side, does Devin McCullough in the fourth. Now hoping for some offensive support from his group, trailing by 2 in this winner's bracket semifinal at Caswell Sports Complex in Mankato.
This business was opened in 1965 by my father, Ned Matiosi. Could have walked in here 25, 30 years ago and seen just about the same thing. The process of making this suit takes about 6 weeks. It goes through about 12 or 13 hands as it's moved along the line. It's an old-time place. Making stuff from scratch here in the city at a reasonable cost. It's a very personal type of business.
We expected it to be a pitcher's duel, and it has been.
Turned out that way for sure. JDT, second time through the order now, Peter. Time to get this offense in gear. Your guy has done his job. He's kept this game close. He's been through the batting order just about twice now. In fact, Shane Boland just had his third plate appearance. So got to get the bats rolling if you're the JDT squad, if you're going to come back in this one.
Shortstop Braden Ducharme against Marco Diaz, who struck him out in the first. By my totals, I believe Hill United has 3 hits in the game. And JDT still looking for their first. They have Matroni, Nick White, and Blake Hunter with base hits.
Tony Gonzalez as well.
And make that 4, yes. Ducharme does well to stay off the rise ball. It's really turned into a great out pitch here in Mankato for Marco. Ball and 2 strikes to the U.S. national team member. And Braden had a quality rip at that pitch. That one didn't have, it hung a little bit.
Yeah, got a little bit more of the plate than Diaz would have liked.
Ducharme has great speed if he can get on. A good fielder, too. And that, tough break for him, good break for Marco. Goes off the bat. As we give you another peek. That's a tough foul away.
Better than on the hands.
Not much, especially at 80 miles an hour. Drop ball, swung on and missed. As Diaz up to 7 strikeouts in the game. Just a little bite. Close enough for Ducharme to take a swing at it. And you have to protect the plate. Scott Patterson, a dangerous hitter in the number 3 hole in the lineup. He's been a great piece player of this team, the Australian national team member.
Well, member of the Hill United Chiefs 2 years ago in 2023, left to go to Circle Tap last year. And with Laskowski and a couple of other guys came over to the JDT organization. The Ducharmes coming over from Ostrander.
Blair, I must say, I'm still a tad confused in terms of player movement in the ISC. I'm learning.
Everybody's a free agent at the end of every season. That's the long and the short of it. Some guys choose to stay with their current team. Others take advantage of the opportunity to upgrade either to a team with a chance to win, or they think has a chance to win, or is going to provide them with more playing time.
Right, but as far as pitchers are concerned,
pitchers are a little bit more restricted.
Yes. And by the way, that was in no way, shape, or form a criticism. It just, I really don't completely, and I've had some people explain about the prawn and how it kind of works and how many players you can kind of protect for so many years. Like, it's not that simple. And Diaz strikes out an unhappy Scott Patterson, who thought the pitch was down.
He's been rung up twice on similar-looking pitches.
But I must say, Blair, one of the things that I do really like about it is it's a system that tries to ensure more balance amongst teams.
And that's what its creators intended. And its creators, way back when, were players. This came from a couple of guys, actually, who are quite legendary players.
Like, I just, to be crystal clear, I don't dislike it. It's not as cookie cutter simple as just means I'm getting older and it's a little hard for me sometimes to understand.
In a sport with no official salaries, its intent is to act as a salary cap, if you will.
Yeah, and I really like it. I really do.
There are those who don't, and who will want to argue whether it's been successful in what it was intended to do or not. But the fact that we've got some teams here who can beat other teams on any given day, and the competitive level that we've got, where nobody is running roughshod through the tournament, I think it works okay.
I do too. I think most organizations are looking in part for that P word, parity. Marco Diaz. 3 up, 3 down, and he's up to 9 strikeouts. It remains 2-0 Hill United in this winner's bracket semifinal.
Welcome to Mont Hill Golf and Country Club. With our beautiful 27-hole golf course open to the public, we work tirelessly to ensure your time with us is second to none. Well, here you'll be able to enjoy an incredible dining experience at our very own Big Pete's Steakhouse. Play some of the best courses in the world with our state-of-the-art golf simulators. Upgrade your gear with the top brands at our pro shop, or host a stunning wedding, event, or conference inside one of our beautiful ballrooms. Learn all this and more at monthill.ca. We can't wait to see you.
Agrees.
Bradley Ezekiel, the batter, in a 2-0 Hill United Chiefs lead, our first of 2. Winners bracket semifinals. Been a terrific pitching matchup, as we expected it would be, between Marco Diaz of the Chiefs and Devin McCullough of JDT First Energy.
And Peter, a final on the diamond behind us. Bear Creek Express, 4-1 winners over the Kegel Black Knights. That will knock Kegel out of the tournament, and Bear Creek will live to fight another day. 2 big wins today for the Express.
Well, they entered as the number 4 ranked team. How many people on that committee, my good man?
Oh, 15?
Boy, I'm asking a lot of questions tonight. I think I'm just going to stay with calling the game.
I'm pretty sure it's 15. I'm not involved in it anymore.
I knew you weren't, actually.
Yeah. But I believe they've got 15.
That's a lot.
It is, and somebody was doing the math this morning, and I think out of the top 10, 9 of them were, at that time, were the ones that were alive.
Oh, yeah. Ezekiel, given the green light, as you would expect he would be, at 3-1. Brad has driven in a run in the game, and not by his usual way of doing so. He walked with the bases loaded for his 30th run batted in of this season. That's a career for some.
It's interesting. We had Brent Stevenson up the other day on Sunday, on Hall of Fame Sunday, and Brent, newly inducted this year, and he talked about the season that the Decatur Pride used to play, or the ADM team prior to it becoming the Pride. And they played, he said they maxed out one year at 130 games.
Yes.
But they would play 100 to 110 games every year for most of the decade of the 80s. The top teams were playing 100-plus game schedules.
Well, as you know, back in those days, it wasn't just weekends.
No, it was right? It was doubleheaders through the week.
Yes.
And if you weren't in a tournament, then you played a doubleheader Friday, a double Saturday, and a double Sunday.
Well, certainly the way it was in a hotbed where I grew up of Saskatoon.
And teams traveled a lot more those days.
They did, but in closer proximity.
They did. They, you wouldn't see the other top team that you might play in the championship of the World Tournament. Oh, you'd only see them at the World Tournament because the Long Beach Nighthawks played up and down the West Coast. ADM played up and down the Midwest. And Pencor played up and down a little bit west of the Midwest. And they'd cross over here and there in big events. And then later, teams like Pencor would travel up into Calgary area or up into Saskatoon and would play tournaments up there and would be shocked when they ran into a Pete Landers or the Calgary Was it Dome Petroleum?
Dome Petroleum and Calgary,
maybe,
Alberta Break and Clutch.
Yes, who I was trying to think of, yeah.
Brad Ezekiel has walked for a second straight time, and what a battle he just had as we're into story time. It probably shouldn't be, and I blame myself for starting it all. Ezekiel, third time in the game, Hill United has had a leadoff batter on, and Blair, the first 2 times they did, what happened?
Yeah, you ended up getting runs come across, and I think that was actually my my bad as I led us down that particular tangent.
I love it though. I mean, and I think people at home, like I know when I listen, I'm always fascinated because I love the game and I love to learn and so fascinated by the history, and everybody comes from different places and has different memories. So I think it's great. Villavazo hit it by the diving Laskowski, and Villavazo with his first hit of the game, and Hill United in business with a 2-0 lead in inning number 5.
Well, here we go, the third time through the batting order, and what happens? Brad Ezekiel works a walk. Lenny Villavazo goes swinging early in the count, and now you got Bruno Matroni up again with a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, Bruno drove in the game's first run with a double down the right field line. The scorer, Shane Boland. The damage could have been greater had Devin McCullough not been able to work out of a tough spot. He did walk Brad Ezekiel with the game's second run and the bases loaded, but then was able to retire a couple of batters, or the game could have gotten away early, Blair.
Yeah, that was a real key sequence of events there in the second. Walked in the 1 run, but you're right, got Lenny Villavazo to fly out.
And that hurt Bruno Matroni. And he's a tough customer.
Most catchers are.
Oof. Ouch.
Nobody's as tough as the guy from the Grass Valley Greens, however, who was here catching with just a mask.
Old school.
Old school.
You've got to be kidding. Ouch, that's off the instep.
The instep, exactly. Yeah, that's not good.
No.
Old school. Just a mask. I literally did a double take.
I have not seen that for a long, long time. But it was not uncommon back in the 70s for sure, into the early 80s, and a lot of guys would wear shin pads but wouldn't wear chest protection.
Well, there was one guy here this week doing that, which to me is old school. But, I mean, catching without gear is like driving without a seatbelt.
Well, that used to happen back in those days, too.
I know. And then there are those who ride motorcycles without helmets.
By the way, it's 2-0 in the 5th. Nobody out. That's why I enjoy calling games with you. We always get into good times. And that one.
How did Matroni get out of the way of that?
I'm not even sure. And Devin was the first guy who was laughing after. It looked like he was skipping rope on this pitch.
How does he get out of the way?
I'm not sure. Watch this little skip.
Yeah. So it goes by his front foot, and he lifts the back foot up and out of the way.
2-2 to Bruno. That's a tough pitch to stay off of. Down and in, full count. Don't know if you would start runners here. I wouldn't think so.
No.
And Matroni had a big hack at it. A date in the winner's bracket final tomorrow evening. I think that game's scheduled for 6:30, if memory serves.
It is indeed.
One more winner's bracket semi to come, and Devin McCullough has walked Bruno Matroni. And Tony Gonzalez will come up with the bases loaded in the top of the fifth. Nobody out. And an opportunity for Hill United to take command in this all-important winners bracket semifinal. The Northeast Drillers and the Bear Creek Gremlins still to come before the night is over. The other two 3-0 teams when this Thursday began. Blair, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty.
Yeah, it's to the sharp end. And another big moment here in this game, Peter. We had one early with the Brad Ezekiel at bat, and now here Tony Gonzalez with the bases loaded and nobody out.
Yeah, there were two out when Brad walked. There are no out now. Gonzalez has a hit tonight. And this gets away from Cornelius. And Bradley Ezekiel is going to trot home with a big third run.
Boy, that's going to be a big hill to climb now for JDT.
That a pass ball, Blair?
I think so. It's hard. I mean, you can judge them either way. I'm not the world's best at that.
That would have been my vote there. And Gonzalez taking all the way. So an important third run comes home for Hill United here in the top of the fifth. And Gonzalez, even on that swing, Blair, you're trying to drive a ball here into the outfield if you can.
Oh, absolutely. There's two big more runs out there. 5 is much better than 3 unless you're in golf.
Two more would make it awfully difficult, and it might be difficult now.
Oh, it's a big mountain now. 5 is getting into the Alps.
Here's the 2-2. And Cornelius did well to scoop that up. Devin McCullough in his 25th inning of work. The payoff. And Devin McCullough reaches back and found one. An important first out. Strikeout number 12 for Devin McCullough. Blake Hunter has one of the Hill United hits in the game. Change up. Leskowski checks and throws over. And quickly, there are 2 away. That's how you teach it.
Oh, that was a fine defensive play there by Leskowski. He had a good long look to make sure that Lenny Villavazo was anchored to that bag. And I was afraid when he let go of that ball, he had let it go high, but that was on a line.
Alan Pecker. And Blair, this, if Hill United can only score 1 here, this would feel like another bit of a missed opportunity. But McCullough needs one more big out. Scorched, and Alan Pecker has driven it to the fence, and he's on his way towards third with a triple, and it's 5-0 Hill United.
Alan Pecker, it must be getting towards the end of the week. Alan Pecker is heating up with big hits.
Alan Pecker, the 27-year-old from Parnon, Argentina, has his 4th and 5th runs batted in of this ISC World Tournament. 3 hits, Blair, 2 triples, and a double. And that will do it for Devin McCullough, who finally gives way to someone else. In this case, it's Yoni Suriel who takes the ball, and we'll take a quick break. 5-0 Hill United in the 5th in this winner's bracket semifinal.
Sometimes people worry about asking for help because there can be a stigma around mental health problems.
Trust your teammates. Trust your teammates. Trust your teammates. They might believe that asking for help means admitting that something's wrong.
Trust your teammates. Trust your teammates.
Some people worry about how others might see them.
Trust your teammates. Trust your teammates.
Asking for help means that you want to make changes and take the first steps towards better mental health.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
We should celebrate the courage it takes to speak up and make changes.
Trust your teammates. Trust your teammates.
Getting help is part of recovery.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
Mental health isn't something you need to keep to yourself. Talk to a friend. Trust your teammates. You're not alone.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
The first steps may be the toughest, but knowing where to look for help is a good start. Community mental health organizations like the Canadian Mental Health Association or Mental Health America offer resources and programs that can help you. Visit cmha.ca or mentalhealthamerica.net to find a branch in your community.
And remember,
trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
Yoni Suriel into the game to take over from Devin McCullough. Suriel from the Dominican Republic pitched 10 innings for that country at the recently completed World Cup in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan, Canada. Devin McCullough, 4 2/3, 5 runs, 6 hits. Struck out 12, walked 4. And this run would still be credited to him if it comes home.
Yeah, Alan Pecker's still on his book.
Alan Pecker with a 2 RBI triple to break it open as Hill United has scored 3 times in this 5th inning.
But Peter, crucially for Devin here, 2 of the walks and the hit by pitch account for 3 of those 5 runs.
And this marks the 3rd inning where they started the inning with a base runner and have been able to score. There's Nick White. Has one of those 6 Hill United Chief hits in the game, facing Yoni Suriel. This is his first batter of the ISC World Tournament. Also pitched for JDT at the USA Major Men's Nationals that came to a close July 20th in Oklahoma City. And he has a bit of a unique delivery, Blair.
Yeah, he does. It's the first time I'm seeing Yanni in person, so just getting used to, and I'm sure he's getting used to the PitchCom device here too.
White punches it, but foul.
He's got a lot of arm speed coming through the hip.
Kind of flies in at you from different angles. I don't, obviously probably by design, but just in watching him in Oklahoma City and now again tonight, it can be difficult, I would think, for a batter to deal with. Never quite know where the ball's coming from. And he really turned that over. But Nick White, talk about getting through an inside pitch. Fortunately, that didn't hit anybody as it left the playing diamond.
Yeah, you'd be hard to hit one more foul than that.
Or harder.
And time called as the ball came back in.
I think Devin McCullough's son, Gordon, just threw it back in. He is an absolute treat. Threw it well, too. I think he's 7 or 8. And apparently, I think his favorite player is at home plate, Nick White.
Oh, Schofield's son, Gordon.
Yes. And Nick has drawn a walk. And he's already stolen a base in the game. He is the leader in that category for Hill United by a considerable margin. Although there is, especially right now, Allen at third, Nick at first, and Biondi the batter. As Luciano fouls that out of play.
Yeah, this troika, probably the fastest 3. There's a group on the drillers that I thought Migliavacca and Milheim. And
Biondi is going to punch this into right field. Hit and run type play with Nick White, who had started his way to second. And Alan Pecker scores the 6th run. So another hit and another run batted in for Biondi, who continues to absolutely make a difference at the ISC World Tournament. He's up to 5 hits now and 4 runs batted in. That was an odd one.
Yeah, just fell into no man's land. But that, you've got the terror of these guys circling the bases at warp speed.
And you know Hill United would like to cash in one more. Would give them a chance to close it in the bottom of the inning. And Blair, who would have ever thought that when this half inning started? Gets by Cornelius. The throw home is not in time. Despite a valiant effort, and Biondi's going to score 2. And you hope Suriel, who made a valiant effort to dive in, attempting the tag on the first runner.
Here comes White, and he just stumbles over the top of White, and we're all going to miss Biondi coming home.
Blair, did he fall on the mask or did he fall on the glove?
Not sure what he tripped on. Maybe just run that one more time.
Suriel dusts himself off.
No, the glove is well behind, but he lands on the glove, and that may have got him in a little bit of pain.
Well, 2 runs, and we were just talking about what speed can do and what the Hill United trio was capable of. And then we saw it.
Yeah, that's just havoc on the base pass.
So the bases all of a sudden are empty, and Hill United has scored 6 times in the 5th.
Laskowski is looking for time on something. He can't get anybody's attention. Now, Suriel is decoding the signals from Cornelius here on the PitchCom device.
Bolin the batter, and Yoni Suriel turns it over to finally end the fifth.
9 guys to the plate, Peter. Sorry.
I was going to go there too. So thank you.
Sorry.
No, in all sincerity, thank you. I don't need to do it if you do it. Here's the big number, 6. 8-0 is a pretty important number too. Hill United will have a chance to close it out in the bottom of the inning here in Mankato.
Welcome to Mont Hill Golf and Country Club. With our beautiful 27-hole golf course open to the public, we work tirelessly to ensure your time with us is second to none. Well, here you'll be able to enjoy an incredible dining experience at our very own Big Pete's Steakhouse. Play some of the best courses in the world with our state-of-the-art golf simulators. Upgrade your gear with the top brands at our pro shop, or host a stunning wedding, event, or conference inside one of our beautiful ballrooms. Learn all this and more at monthill.ca. We can't wait to see you.
I'll see you.
Bottom of the fifth inning. Hill United explodes for 6, and they're 3 outs away from playing in the winner's bracket final, slated for 6:30 tomorrow. And when you make it to the winner's bracket final, I believe the worst you can finish is 3rd.
That's right.
See, unlike the player movement, I don't need help with that stuff. I'm pretty good with the format stuff. Schedules, memory's not bad. After that, I don't have much, but I'm okay at that stuff. Jonathan Lynch is the batter. Boy, oh boy, did it change. It was one heck of a pitcher's duel between Marco Diaz and Devin McCullough, and then you know what broke loose in the 5th. And Diaz has been dealing. Blair, it's odd. He's been great and yet has almost gone under the radar just the way the game has been played.
With everything else that's going on. Peter, before I forget, I want to say happy birthday to Dale Schweier.
Nice.
From the Townsend Tide. I noticed that this morning on Facebook. I know there's some of the Tide guys down here in front of us, and they were a big help the other night with the weather situation, including Dale. So happy birthday, Dale Schweier.
Yes, happy birthday, and I should have done this earlier, but guys, I'll be a Townsend Tide fan for life after the effort and the help and the sincerity and the kindness that was shown when we had quite the equipment mishap in those awful, awful wins a few nights ago. I cannot say enough about that group of 4 or 5 that helped us. And if they were not here, Blair, this tent over our head
would not be.
It would not be. They saved it. They really did. So thank you. Marco Diaz, by the way, has his 10th strikeout of the game as he's dealing with Justin Laskowski, the 27-year-old from Saskatoon, or technically, I believe he lives in Warman, just outside of Saskatoon. What is happening here? It went off Bruno Matroni. Did it knock a piece of his equipment off? Blake Hunter just tossed something away to the Hall of Famer, Jeff Ellsworth. Again, congratulations.
Here's a look at it. No.
Yeah, I believe it.
Break something off?
Yeah, I think it broke something off the shin guard. 2 balls and a strike to Justin. And that curves its way in to even the count. Marco Diaz having himself a splendid start again to the ISC World Tournament. And make it 11 strikeouts and 4 in a row. And Hill United is 1 out away from facing either the Bear Creek Gremlins or the Northeast Drillers coming up next in tomorrow evening's winners bracket final. Changeup that he starts Travis Jones with. And on the topic of the tent, thank goodness for it again, as a ball just went crashing off of it. Marco himself now, Blair, 44 strikeouts in the event. Had 53 in last year's tournament in 32 innings pitched.
And these numbers aren't coming up against Todd's mudjacking either. These are legit teams that are being rung up.
Okay. I've known you for a few years now. We've worked games together for the last 3, I think. That may be my favorite. Todd's mudjacking. Where on you-know-whose earth did that come from? Diaz. Ooh, look out, Travis Jones. Oh.
That was a first-round opponent of the Hill United Chiefs in the 2015 or 2016
Oh, so
World
you're being
Tournament.
completely serious.
I'm being completely serious.
Oh,
the
that's
Chiefs, 22-0 winners in 3 innings.
I thought you just pulled that one out of your hat. I shouldn't have, because, you know, we've had teams like the DA Dogs in my research, but Blair, that one has not crossed the research staff. Todd's mudjacking. One of the greatest names ever, by the way. The payoff to Travis Jones is strike 3 and ends the game, and Marco Diaz has a 5-inning, 12-strikeout, no-hitter. Did not allow a hit in the game.
Congratulations to Marco Diaz. That is a very, very impressive outing against the number 5 ranked JDT squad, a team that came in on a roll. Marco Diaz puts a stop to that and stops JDT cold.
Interesting, though, you see the box score, 6 runs in the 5th. She was tight, but no answer for Marco Diaz on this eve. And he has been dynamite in all 4 of his outings. So Hill United, the reigning ISC World Champs, are back into a winner's bracket final. And they'll await the winner of our next game, which will come your way in about, I'd say, 25 minutes. The Bear Creek Gremlins and the Northeast Drillers. Should be a dandy. Make sure you come back and join us. For Blair Setford, Luciano and Carol, so long for now. From the ISC World Tournament in Mankato, Minnesota.
Called strike 3, the outside corner. They weren't out of that.
High in the air, Viavazo comes to get it, and the Chiefs are back to the top of the mountain. The gloves fly. The celebration is underway.